Welcome everyone, Dylan Gemelli here today with a brand new video for you. So today we're going to talk about bromocriptine. People have been requesting this for a long time. I honestly don't know why I haven't done the video yet, but it's definitely a must-see. Now, Parladel is the trade name for bromocriptine mesylate. Now, when we just basically in the bodybuilding world, we just call it Bromo, so I'm going to refer to it as Bromo throughout the video. Now, it's an ergo derivative with D2 dopamine receptor agonist and D1 dopamine receptor antagonist activities. Now, in medicine, it's a really versatile drug and it has many uses because of its dopamine increasing effects. Now, in bodybuilding, it's used for its ability to inhibit prolactin and also during calorie restricted dieting. So let's talk about some history on it. Now, Bromo was first used in the 1970s for treatment of Parkinson's and to suppress HGH when high doses were being used. Now, since the late 80s, it's been used off-label for cocaine withdrawal. In addition, in 2009, it was approved by the FDA for treatment of type 2 diabetes for its effect at improving glycemic control. So many of its uses involve how Bromo is related to dopamine increasing effects. So how does it work? Now, bromomesylate is a dopamine agonist, and what it does is it activates dopamine receptors in the absence of the receptor's physiological ligand, which is the neurotransmitter dopamine. So essentially, it will forcefully increase dopamine within the body. Now, let's understand dopamine here for a minute. I keep throwing that term out there, but let's explain it. Dopamine is a hormone and a neurotransmitter, and what it does is it plays a really important role in the human brain and the human body. So with the brain, dopamine functions as a neurotransmitter, which is a chemical released by nerve cells to send signals to other nerve cells. So let's say a person's addicted to drugs. Dopamine levels are going to be increased. Now, Parkinson's disease actually involves a dysfunction of the dopamine system, which is going to result in tremors and motion impairment. So there's also evidence that schizophrenia involves altered levels of dopamine activity. ADHD and restless leg syndrome are also believed to be associated with decreased dopamine activity. So there's a couple of ways that Bromo is used in bodybuilding. Now, prolactin inhibition is the first, and that's pretty much what we most know it for. Whenever a progestin-based compound is used, like your trenbolone or your nandrolone decanate, prolactin levels are going to rise. So using Bromo to bring down prolactin levels is going to keep prolactin-based gynecomastia away, and it's going to keep your libido strong. Now, there's another use, though. Calorie-restricted dieting. When a bodybuilder cuts calories, your leptin levels are going to drop and your body's going to respond by holding on to nutrient stores. So it's believed that Bromo will help normalize the slowing metabolism during this time, and it's going to help maintain normal leptin stimulation, and this is connected to its dopamine effects. Now, prolactin is a hormone protein that actually plays the role of enabling female mammals to produce milk. Now, it's not fully understood why males have prolactin, but we do know that it provides sexual gratification after ejaculation. And after ejaculation, a male's going to lose interest in sex. Now, this is called the sexual refractory period time, so where prolactin levels tend to rise. Now, lower prolactin levels are going to decrease the refractory period, and in general, high prolactin levels can cause impotence, and they can cause loss of interest in sex. You're going to have a lower libido. So there's no shortage of possible side effects with Bromo, and many bodybuilders have avoided using it for this reason. Now, nausea is one of the most common side effects, and this is usually the first thing that you notice. You're going to feel terrible when you use Bromo. Sick like you want to throw up. Low blood pressure can result, dizziness and confusion can also occur. And there's a host of less likely side effects like anxiety, your dry mouth, fatigue, headache, lethargy. So this makes it this is why you don't see many people using it anymore. You see people using Dostonex or Promi. That's generally why I don't ever recommend Bromo. I don't feel it's as effective as the others either, but the side effects can be, just ridiculous to some. The normal starting dose is 2.5 to 5 milligrams, split during the day or every day. Now, if side effects become too great, then cutting the dose in half is what you're going to need to do, and it can still be effective. Now, let's talk about Bromo versus Dostonex versus Promi and half-life. Bromo was very popular in the bodybuilding world until more recently, and there's several reasons why it lost popularity. The side effects tend to be higher versus, dopamine drugs like Caber, which is Dostonex, and Promi. Also, the half-life is only 12 hours versus Caber, which is, 3 to 4 days. This means you have to take it every day, while Caber can be taken once every 3 days. And here's a couple trade names for Bromo, just so you know. Parladel, like I said, Cyclizet, and Broten. Okay, so those are just some other trade names so that you don't get confused. That is Bromo. So that's Bromocriptine. I just wanted to make sure that I got that out there. I know a lot of people have been asking me about it. There's some good things and then some bad things about it. Is it something I would recommend? Not really. But there are people that use it that need the education, and I just need to educate you to make a wise decision on what you want to use when you're running a 19 NOR steroid like Tren or Deca or NPP. So, that being said, stay tuned for plenty more to come. Dylan Gemelli, signing off.